and welcome to Kankakee Podcast, where we talk about the people and places of Kankakee County. I'm Jake LaMore, and this is a special bonus episode where we have teamed up with the Majestic to talk about their annual Wedding Expo. And I've got Felicity joining us now from the Majestic. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, it's always good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. You too.
So the Expo is coming up Sunday, February 16th.
Yes.
And we were talking before we started recording. We were just kind of like skimming over the vendors this year. And there's some pretty interesting ones out of the norm. Yeah. And we'll kind of get into that. But where do we start with the Expo? Yeah. Starts at 1:00. Right. I know.
Yes. Yeah. So it's an annual event. So we've done it for a couple years now. And we're super excited to bring it back this year. Our goal is to make it bigger and better every year. So it's a lot of the things that you're going to see this year are the same from past years, but we're kind of mixing it up and changing up a few things. So like you said, it starts at 1:00 and it goes until 3:00. And then we've got a ton of fun things going on. So you definitely want to stop by and make sure you stop at each of the vendors. I know we were talking about how there's, like you said, tons of vendors and tons of...
Well, I guess we can talk about that then. I was looking at the list and I'm like, okay, I know most of these, but there was one... Actually, now I see another one that I've never heard of before we can talk about too, but the Magnolia Creations Studio. I had never heard of that before. I'm like, what in the world is that?
Yeah. So it's actually Magnolia Creations Studios is actually just a single artist, and she's located down south, but she travels. So you can book her for weddings in this area, and she's actually a live wedding painter. So she does a bunch of artistry stuff outside of it, but she worked with one of our employees at the Majestic. She got married over the summer, and she was there painting her wedding, and it was just super, super cool to see. I wasn't actually there. Marcy was, but I saw pictures and videos, and she was just kind of nestled away in the back and just painting the whole thing and bringing the whole thing to life. So she's actually going to be at the expo, bringing the expo to life.
That's so cool. Yeah. So she's going to paint what's going on at the expo.
Yeah, it's super awesome. Cool. So we're going to stick her up on the stage, and she's going to have all her stuff, and she's just going to be doing her thing. But it's something cool, something a little bit of a twist. And it's a wedding trend that you haven't seen much before, but it's starting to get
Is it like a trend on the rise?
Yes.
It's going to be like one of the new trends of 2020. We're going to look back at the end of 2025 and we're going to say, what were the new wedding trends? And that's going to be one of them, maybe.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. So when she's capturing the event, is it kind of like, it's not one of those things where like people are getting a portrait and they're like standing still for the whole thing, right? Like she must be moving fast then to try to capture.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how she does it. I know I've seen a lot of like live painters. They'll take a picture of, something for the wedding. Usually it's the kiss. Because that's, the grand moment of the ceremony. And so they'll take a picture of it. So they have like a rough idea of what it is, and they'll be painting that kind of scene throughout the entire night. So I think Magnolia Studios, I think she was there I think she goes through the beginning of the ceremony to the end of the reception, and she's painting just one little snapshot of the ceremony. So for the expo, I'm not exactly sure how she's going to do it, but it'll just be kind of cool to see something that we've done yearly come to life and kind of have like a little keepsake of the event.
Yeah, so. Maybe it'll be hanging somewhere in the building when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And there was another one on the list, Renewal by Anderson.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's a little bit of a different one. They were actually there last year as well. It's actually a window company. So
that's what I wondered. I was like, is that a window company? Because that's what it sounds like.
It sure is. So it's a little bit odd. It's one that you wouldn't think that would be at a wedding expo. But they got a ton of interest last year. A lot of new couples who are moving into their new homes. They're rehabbing homes. You see that more often now too. Yeah. That's something that they're looking for. And it's just something a little extra bonus to add in there.
So it's like post-wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like thinking beyond.
Yeah. And it was, I I believe they had done some work for us here or at one of our venues. And they said, hey, I see you're doing that Wedding Expo. Do you think we can jump on there? And
you're like, yeah, sure.
Why not? Yeah.
Let's do it.
More the merrier.
Gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. We're going to have a few different types of vendors that maybe are a little bit outside of the wedding industry. But it's kind of, it changes it up.
Yeah. So. Yeah. What are some of those other ones that are like a bit outside of the norm?
Yeah. So we actually just this morning had a insurance company reach out to us. So we're going to have an insurance company here, which is actually, it works out because a lot of venues require you to bring in your own event insurance.
That's true.
So that's a really good resource to have. So they're going to be there. We're going to have, the basic photographers, DJs, bakeries. We're going to have a few of those because what we've seen, me working in the wedding industry, I've noticed wedding cakes are going away and more like treat tables are coming in.
Yes, I've noticed that in the last few weddings I've attended, there's just, you might see a cupcake. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen donuts. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what outside of, I guess, cookies.
Yeah.
But like special cookies, not like home style cookies necessarily. But yeah, it's interesting to see that trend.
It is, yeah. So we're gonna have like bundt cakes. Nothing Bundt Cake. They just recently came to the area, so they'll be here again this year. And then Cakes and Goodies. They do a lot of really fun like cake pops and cheesecakes and just off the wall type of things that brides are really into and grooms are really into recently. So that'll be cool. Nanas will be there too.
Yes,
so that's
Nanas
a good
will be there too.
Yeah.
So
gotta love Nanas.
Yes, we're excited about that.
Yes.
And then you've got Visit Kankakee. I was actually surprised to see on the list, not because I don't think they fit into that, but I was like, oh, like that's actually cool. Yeah. Good surprise.
Yeah. So we had them last year, and we have a really great relationship with them over at the Majestic and Deer Ridge. A lot of the times we'll refer our brides and grooms to them for like shuttle services and just different things that they may need for family coming in from out of town or just anything really.
It's something,
lodging. Yeah,
it's something I feel like that gets overlooked as a resource. Having Visit Kankakee there will help with, if, let's say you're doing the extravagant wedding, you're having people out of town, but you want to do like some events or activities with the family outside of the actual wedding. Visit Kankakee can be like, oh, well, did you know there's this place you can go visit to throw axes or, whatever it might be, that they can do outside of the wedding. Or I imagine, like the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Exactly. And just bringing also those Kankakee elements into the wedding too. I know we've had a lot of brides use them for just various reasons of planning different things for their weddings. So it's pretty cool to see them be back. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other vendors then that you want to highlight?
So tons of them. So we have Nicole Marie Salon. So they're actually in Bourbonnais, but they'll be over. And I know they're going to have a few hairstylists. I think they're going to have maybe a nail tech, stuff like that. So like the beauty side of things.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of, like I said, DJs. DJ Medina, he actually has a photo booth too. So he's going to bring his photo booth down right in front of the Majestic sign right there when you walk in to the building. He's going to have a little photo booth going for all the guests to come through and take pictures with their groups. We're going to have One Fine Day. They'll be back. They decorate the stage for us. So they'll have a mock setup. I don't know exactly what she's going to do. I think she's going to do something a little different this year than what they usually do.
I'm sure they want to change it up every year.
Yeah, because and they're under new ownership this year. So, well, recently, I think it was within the past year. So they're going to change it up a little bit. We'll have Clara Hall. She's a local decorator as well that she does beautiful work, and she's going to have like a mock table set up. So we'll have a lot of like demos going on in the room as well, which is really cool because it brings the idea and the vision to life. So it kind of shows you what these vendors not only have to offer, but what they can do for you to bring your day and make it, special.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I know I'm forgetting tons. We have Holiday Inn. They're going to be there.
Right.
So
can't forget the hotels.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. We have tons of different vendors. Definitely. We're really excited. So.
Awesome. Well, and I'm excited too, because we actually have a promo code that listeners can take advantage of to get 50% off in the door. Because how much are tickets?
Tickets are $10, and we'll be selling them at the door too, but we recommend you just buy them online ahead of time. It's just easier, and it kind of gives us an idea of how many people to expect.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, that discount code, it's just wedding. It's pretty simple.
Just use wedding. Put that in there for your discount code. $5 to get in the door.
And who could beat that? $5 and
well, especially like if you're going to make this a whole outing for your, let's say your wedding party, or maybe it's not even you that's getting married. Maybe it's your daughter or your husband, or not husband. Listen to me, your son. Your husband's getting married. That might be a little weird. It might be your ex-husband, but regardless, whoever in your life, you're a part of the celebration in whatever way, shape, or form. If you guys want to make it an outing, which is usually a lot of fun, especially when you get to see some of these other vendors and things you didn't think about before, it gives you a different idea for your wedding. And I don't know, for me, sometimes, and of course, the intent hopefully is that people go to the expo and they take, they give their business to one of the vendors, but sometimes it just gives you an idea for things outside of the expo. I feel like it's an educational thing. I feel like some people see it as just like, oh, it's just people just trying to get your money. But I really see it as just educating yourself on how you want your celebration to be, or your, like I said, whoever, family member, friend, whatever. It helps with all the questions that come up with a wedding. It's like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And then, because you just get overwhelmed.
Yeah. And that's what I see all the time working with all these brides is you don't even know where to start. I mean, it's like there's so many different things, and exactly like you said, you want this to be more of just an outing than let's just go to the expo and let's find, we don't have a caterer, so let's just go and look at all the caterers and that's it. We'll find a caterer and we'll go. And that kind of brings me back to that bridal bingo, because it gives you a chance to, it almost forces you to go to every single vendor and talk to every single person, because maybe one of these vendors is going to bring an aspect to your wedding that you didn't think you either wanted, needed, or maybe you didn't even think about it to begin with. So like the live painter. Yeah. Nobody, I mean, in my opinion, I wouldn't think about that unless it was, put right in front of me. And
maybe you're thinking, oh, you know what? Forget about the photographer. I'm just going to.
Yeah, exactly. Or forget about the painting and let's get some windows. Like, we can just take it all together. Yeah. But no, it's more of like exactly like you said, making it an outing, making it a fun day to just hang out with your girls or with your guys, or and that's a big thing too. Grooms, they're very welcome. We recommend them to come because we want it to be a big group experience and everybody to have fun. Yeah, and I don't think the Super Bowl is happening this day. No, yes. I think the Super Bowl is like the weekend before. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. There's no way you guys would do it on Super Bowl Sunday. No. Yeah. Goodness, no. That would not be okay. Definitely not. I always laugh because this is just a side note. I do tours out at the two venues that I work for. And sometimes during football season on Sundays, there was a few Sundays this past season that I just kind of laughed because you could tell the grooms were just not happy to be there because they were missing the Bears game. And it was too funny. So I always laugh and say like, it needs to be like Sundays and Thursdays, maybe Mondays need to be out of the picture for our men in the industry. Or they're like, hey, could we do it at this time or this time? And you're like, that window in between and be like, oh, okay, that must be when the Bears are playing, right? Or the Packers or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Team they follow. Yeah, I need to have like NFL scheduled and then wedding scheduled. Yeah, so it's funny, but no, Super Bowl is not going on during all of this. No, and that's great. Yeah.
So yeah, the Majestic is located right here in downtown Kankakee on Schuyler.
Yeah.
And Deer Ridge is not terribly far away from here either, but that's out in the country. That's a beautiful venue. So this is Sunday, February 16th, 1 to 3 p.m.
Yes.
If you want to get in the door for $5, use that promo code WEDDING. Felicity, anything else?
I think the one big last thing for the expo,
Sure.
The free venue is back. So that's
is
really,
that
really
like a
big
giveaway?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Majestic is giving away a free venue for your wedding day. So we have the couple actually who won it last year. They're getting married in October, and they're so excited. So it's really cool to see, the couple not the specific couple, but just any couple, they have that opportunity to have that free venue because that frees up a lot of space in your budget.
Oh, yeah.
To do stuff that you thought you weren't going to be able to do. And that's like a main thing that I've seen with the couple that is getting married in October is they're like, wow, I can do this and I can do that now. And it's super, super cool. So that's something you definitely don't want to miss.
Okay.
That could be one.
Want to take advantage of that. So does the winner of that get announced the day of the expo, or is it?
Usually we do it about the day after. You don't have to be present to win.
Okay.
So we'll have your contact information.
But
and
you do have to
everything.
come to the expo to sign up.
Yeah, so that's a part of the bridal bingo, and that's kind of the part about going to every single vendor and making sure you get each stop in because that's how you're going to be able to be entered into the raffle to get these prizes, and that the free venue is one of those prizes.
Okay.
So
my next question is, since the Majestic and Deer Ridge are owned by the same people, do you get to choose between one of those, or is it specifically like this is for the Majestic or this is for Deer Ridge?
So it is specifically for the Majestic.
Okay.
We share the same owners, but we have a couple different owners over at Deer Ridge. So it is.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so it is just for the Majestic, but we definitely are. We're excited and we're ready.
I mean, they're both great spaces. I mean, you can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah.
So they're both very popular. And what's nice about downtown is if you are going for more of a retro look, I feel like you can get some of that with like your wedding photos if you go outside and you got the city, old cityscape behind you and everything.
Oh yeah, we see, and that's a lot of times our brides will use the alley.
I mean,
out on the side, or even you get out a little bit later and. We always say we don't recommend to do this, but we get a photographer and the bride and groom out in the middle of the street out on Schuyler and the Majestic sign in the background. That's always a super cool shot. That
I've seen several shots of those, and every time I see one, I'm just like, oh, that looks so cool.
Yeah, it's like be super careful, but do it. It's really awesome.
Yes.
But yeah.
I did not bring this up.
Right.
We are not responsible for anyone that may be harmed during those photos.
Right. This was your photographer's idea, not mine.
Yes. No, I didn't say this now.
Right.
So yeah, that's all important to know. I mean, who wouldn't want a free wedding venue? Yeah. As you said, that's a big thing. Is it just the venue itself, or is there any other attachments?
So it is. It's just the venue itself, the bare rental price, and then we kind of can add on there as far as your wants and needs. We can add on to that package, but the free portion is just the venue rental.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that covers it all.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming by again.
Thank you.
And hopefully see everyone at the Wedding Expo on Sunday, February 16th. Again, promo code WEDDING.
Yes, 50% off.
50% off your tickets.
Heck yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Thanks.